Are we live? Let's see. Can anyone hear me? Just comment yes if you can. Cool, we've got 23 people in the house just now. Yeah, just anyone, just double check if you can hear me. Just post a little comment with a thumbs up or anything like that. And yeah, oh, fantastic. Great. Anyhow, thank you very much for coming on this call. I am Aaron, so I lead the Instantly VIP team. So this is like the done for you part of Instantly, where we take your offer and we scale that out to the masses with really, really good outbound frameworks. So the purpose of this weekly call is to literally just sit here and answer all your questions on outbound. So it could be anything that you're struggling with right now. It could be a campaign, it could be ideas, it could just be stuff around deliverability or anything like that. Just drop it in the chat. I'll pull it up straight in here, just like this one here. You can just pull this here and then go and answer it right from there. So feel free to just ask me. I'm going to be sitting around for the next 30 minutes. So yeah, so first come, first served. I'll just answer all your questions as we go. So I'll just wait for them to come in. Okay. First of all, my campaign is going good. They said they're interested, but they didn't book a meeting. What do I need to do? Okay. So for this one, what I would say is like, if someone says they're interested, it's like a positive, great. But what you'll find is that even if you get positive replies, not everyone books in, not everyone takes the next step. And it's just like if you go from not interested to interested on the spectrum, this person obviously just isn't there yet. So the best thing that you can do is give them more and more and more proof. That's the best way to do it. If you're delivering like an offer, that's typically how I would do outbound. Like you deliver something like truly of value rather than just like a sales meeting. Then all that happens is they say yeah, and then I would just follow up and say, hey, person, we did this month for these different people around the world. Kind of what more proof could I show you to have a chat? Or we could just do like a value-based follow-up rather than just saying, hey, just checking in, just bumping this one up, because that's how salespeople talk, and we want to focus on serving people. So if they don't book in, then give them proof, give them value until they do. That's the best way to approach that one. How much should be the minimum of people inside a campaign to see some kind of results? Subjective. It's not really about the amount of people in your campaign. There's many things that make a successful campaign. I'd say first one is you've got to have a good offer. If you don't have a good offer, your campaign simply just won't work. This can come down to your actual business offering. There's some business offerings that, again, they're just not great for outbound. There's some that are fantastic, right? If you're Forbes trying to sign people up for an interview, or if you're Alex Hormozy looking to give away an hour of your time and you're targeting people that know who Alex Hormozy is, then you're going to get a lot of replies. You could send 10 emails and probably get 10 positive responses. But yeah, there's many things. I would say, first of all, you need a really good offer. You need really good deliverability. That's another part. You can use Instantly's done for you inboxes. Super good for that. And yeah, based on how it goes, you just need to scale up, scale up, scale up. So ideally, you want to be at that point where you're getting maybe 3 to 5 positives a week, and you're going to begin to see meetings come in. You're going to have enough data to work with it, to improve it. And yeah, and hopefully schedule more meetings and yeah, close more deals. Okay, in terms of automations, so this person here is referring to Instantly's new product launch. So what I would say is, like, for automations, what we can do is, it's kind of like an end-to-end style workflow. Is pretty cool. And with this best use case is multi-channel. So now we have integrations into, I believe, HeyReach, Valley, AimFox as well. And we can say like when something happens, so like when someone positively replies, or when someone maybe doesn't reply to our emails, then push this to like a HeyReach campaign or do this. So it can allow us to have like visual automated actions straight from that, and we can manage that all from instantly. So that's essentially how it works. And you've just got to play with it and see kind of like what different things we could look at. CRM as well. There's like lots of different kind of things we can do, but it's very much follows a similar style to maybe how like NAN might work or how Make might work. A very like a visual automation builder. I think this is a really big feature and to be released. It was super cool. Thank you, Thomas. Thanks for joining as well. How long should one wait for before optimizing the copy variant, and how many variants shall one start with? It's not about how long, it's about how many emails are sent. For example, if you sent 20,000 emails, you could optimize every day because you get a feedback loop. But if you, let's say, you sent one email a day for the next year, then you'd have to wait till the end of the year to get any sort of data. So what I would say is, put simply, I would think of the best lead magnets you could ever use. So what's the most valuable offer you could ever put on the table? Create lots of different variants of that offer and start to send. Send at least 1,000 a day so you can start to see kind of what works, what doesn't. And then after maybe 3-4 days, you can see quickly what's working, what's not. And then you can disable variants. If none work, then create 5 new variants with different offers. Or maybe change the industry. If maybe I like to keep the ICP fairly vague initially, just to see like what is the relationship between A and B, like just like a university thesis. If I send this email, this style of email, will it be responded to positively? Yes or no? And then once we do that, then we can begin to niche things down. But you're running that separate experiment. Okay, can you please tell me what's your process to make money in your business? Could you explain the process from step 1 to closing client? So what I can say is like, again, I mean, Instantly is a fairly big company, so I'm not involved in here. But what I'd say is like, from my previous business, and this was my own outbound agency. The way we actually made money was we had specific campaigns for marketing agencies we knew that worked. The issue was that we didn't have a massive brand name. So I thought the easiest way to do this was to put the product as a lead magnet. So we thought we'll just give away campaigns for free. So what we did was we bought a ton of pre-warmed emails. So we pre-warmed a ton of emails, just generic domains. We would reach out to marketing agencies to say, hey, we can set you up 5 meetings for free. They would say, yeah, that sounds great. We would run the campaigns. There was like a 95% success rate where they would book these meetings in. And right after it, I just said, well, hey, would you like more meetings like this monthly? Well, of course, yeah. Like, okay, well, that'll be 2,500 a month. Ah, cool, perfect. And they bought straight away. It was a really simple process. It only took 1 meeting to close them. And that's kind of how we did it. So I'd say that the quicker you can show the value, like the eureka moment of your business, then you get to close them super quickly. Okay, this is relating back to the previous one. How long should I wait to expect to see results from my campaign before I decide that it isn't working? What I would say is I would typically give it 1 to 2 weeks. It just depends on the volume you're sending. If you're sending thousands of emails per day and you get and you're not seeing responses, and yeah, there's probably optimizations that need to be made. Dependent on the industry, some industries just don't respond as well. You could be selling to big enterprise companies that would use like Microsoft Inboxes, Barracuda, Mimecast, Proofpoint. These are all different cybersecurity companies that tend to block spam. So it's hard to kind of get into their inboxes, It's going to take longer to see the results there, but obviously the results from that are pretty big if you can book a call with a really big company. So I'd say that usually give that 1 week to 2 weeks, but it's purely based on volume. The more volume you can send quicker, much better, and then you can make a lot of changes and you can get to the right the right recipe for what works. It's just hard. Okay, I was just hired by a marketing company to serve as a third arm for a non-profit. I have a lead list, but the company is small and has no tech stack. I'm lost. Not sounding biased, but the way Instantly is going and the way it is Instantly very much tries to and captures all the main tools in one. So we're looking at what you need really is mailboxes, you need lead lists, you need kind of AI powered stuff so you can create variants with leads, all that stuff. It's got a sequencer in there. It's even got a CRM. It's got automations if you want to include LinkedIn. So this pretty much covers it all in one package. So I'd say that, ideally, to go and get a tech stack for sure. But even if you need to prove the concept, you can take a quote of like 100 emails per day, make them really good, pull out a lead list, and you can use like an Instantly trial. But I would really try and sell that up the way to say, hey, if we want to actually make money here, we're going to have to invest in this. But then again, not being biased, outbound is not always the answer. I mean, there's many different ways to build pipeline. I'm very versed in outbound, but I'm very aware that there's some companies that outbound just doesn't work for. If you're selling B2C, for example, then I probably wouldn't do outbound. I would maybe do ads, or I'd maybe take a different route. So yeah, I would just say that try your best to sell the business case to them, or it's going to be pretty tough to kind of get somewhere. But at the same time, you can also do things manually. You can think about growth hacks. When I was 18, 19, I built a bunch of startups at uni, and we got our first couple of users using things like Product Hunt or launching on different platforms or finding different exploits. Like I believe there was like ones with the App Store where like little growth hacks. Yeah, there's always a way to do it. You've just got to be super creative. Have a look at YC Startup School. Do things that don't scale. Search that up. That will give you a lot of answers to that. Can you have a look at a campaign I'm currently running to make suggestions? Aaron, if you just drop that in chat, then I can go and make some comments on that for you. Just getting through these. Is it normal Instantly start sending variants equally, but then unevenly distributes all the emails of the day to those variants that got replies? I believe so, yeah. So there are settings where it's like it will prioritize, and we can turn them off, but it can prioritize like ones that work. I tend to try and I try to turn these off. Again, this I believe it is. I'm double checking that one for you, but I tend to turn it off to make the test fully impartial, so we can just get like an even split. It won't be like perfectly like boom, 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 boom. Like, but it'll be there enough. I'm assuming just with like, I mean, if your variance, if the amount of contacts is an odd number, one of them is going to get more than one other one. But yeah, that is a fairly even test. But I don't think it really matters. It's more of just having like an even spread of different variants being sent, so we can see what works, what's the most optimal. Yeah, this is a good one. How can I approach the visitors on our website in a campaign without being creepy and sounding like I saw you visited us? What I would say is definitely don't mention it. What people realize is like when you do all the trigger-based approaches, all the kind of trigger-based outbound, hey, I saw you like I get messages from my mates where it's like, my buddies from Scotland will say, hey, I'm getting sent emails saying, oh, I saw you liked Aaron Reid's post on LinkedIn or whatever. And it's some company that's tracking my post. I think that if I let's say I follow instantly and I'm currently using a competitor and instantly want me to start using their thing, rather than saying like, hey, I saw like you did this behavior, why don't we just say, well, we know they visited their site, we know they like someone's thing or they follow something. Let's just keep that. Let's have that list there. We know that's the position they're in. We don't have to call that out. We can just give them an offer and it just seems to them, wow, like what are the chances of that? That's pretty awesome. So like, we don't even mention the behavior. We don't have to. It doesn't have to be used as relevance. We can say like, hey, like we were thinking about you or whatever, like yada yada, whatever offer you're going to send, and you're just going to get higher responses because it's always about the position the company are in. If the company are doing a bunch of things which suggest that they're maybe in buying mode for a specific thing, we don't have to call that behavior out. We can just give them an offer they can't refuse. And this is why before I cited that it makes sense to run a very vague ICP with a bunch of tests. So you can actually just say, well, what is the most optimal offer? And then we can thread that into all these triggers, because if we do triggers plus offer, then we don't know if it was the trigger that worked or the offer. And then it becomes really optimal because then we know, okay, well, here's the perfect offer. We've singled out that variant to say that's fine. We know that. And then when we add in triggers, we can use the offer plus, we can say, well, what's the best trigger? And we can make an impartial experiment. So then we know our best trigger is the best offer. We can bind them together as one. But again, just don't call it the behavior. That's the easiest way to do it. My offer is like first start with commitment amount, after result they need to pay. They said no interest. So what I would say here is put very, very, very quickly. Offer creation works like this. Dream outcome. What is the best thing for the customer? What's the dream outcome in relation to your offer? What is the biggest hurdle of them getting that? Then think, if we were to stack all our clients, all our users, obviously don't do that, and we were to provide all our resources to this one prospect, think about the value they would get. And then think, how could we make this super scalable, low in resource to deliver? There's a fly here. With retaining that value, and then create like 5-6 variants. And then once we've got them in a call, we can say, well, here's the offer, like here's some like value up front. And then we can use like the commitment amount after result or whatever. That can be a money model to close the deal, to make this super easy to close. That's the best way to think about it. So have the offer in itself good, but we don't need to talk money just yet. The buyer will naturally talk money to you anyway. And we can make it so easy for them to buy with that thing you've got there. So I think you've just got it the wrong way around. We don't need to lead with that money model. We keep that in hand for later when they've experienced the value. And then it's like almost like a guarantee. Their perceived likelihood of success is super high. And there's no effort sacrifice there. It's a low risk for them. What kind of attitude do you have to people who are very negative, read replies, cold email outreach, any reply back, or just ignore? Yeah, don't tangle with these guys, because all that's going to happen, I mean, there's two things. If they reply rudely, they may have marked your mailbox as spam, or if you reply again, then they definitely will. They just don't want you to do well. I've seen this a million times of emails I send. Yeah, but it's just time of your day. So the best way is just like maybe block that domain and just say, let's not email these people, because some people just aren't receptive to cold outreach, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But I've had some belters in my inbox in the past, some really funny ones actually, but I just don't even reply. Just block their domain and just say, right, let's not email them because they'll most likely report us. Best way to do it. I currently sell a done-for-you solution wrapped into a custom app to allow an agency to scrape local businesses' websites for email info. How should I package this for my cold emails? literally easiest way is firstly map out markets that typically or map out agencies that would be needing this tool for sure. And then like what's an offer they can't refuse? Get it all for free forever. Why don't we give them like a massive lead list? Or like something like that. I'd say that's the best one. You can just offer leads, like you can just offer a section of that. Or you can think about like more of a starving market, like what areas, what countries is there a shortage in data? And can you offer them data there as well? That's the best way to do it. I would just say the best offer would be, yeah, just a sample of leads or like a really good offer where it's like you get it 30 days for free, you make a slight loss, but then there's like an economic residual profit in there. So like, hey, I signed up for all instant products during the Black Friday offer, but I wanted to pause my sub until I get warm mailboxes. Otherwise, it's almost worthless as the entire month is wasted in warming. This is incorrect because if you put all your mailbox into warm up right now, it has a big upside. So what I would say is like if you can warm them up over Christmas, I would spend. That's the misconception people get. Like if the longer you can spend in warm up without sending, the better. So if you can warm this up over the whole of Christmas, come up and spend a ton of time, come up with a ton of campaigns, get like use the offer to get as much volume as you can, and then get everything set up, got the lead list set up, get all that. All you need to do is once everybody comes back early Jan, just click go. You're going to get really good deliverability, especially in the first month and a half. It's going to be like peak, and you're going to be like flying ahead of competitors. Trust me. I've been there, done that. The longer you can get them to warm up, the better. So it's definitely not wasted. A month, if you have a month to warm, it's a massive advantage. And again, that's not biased. That's just genuine personal experience. What can we do about the current problem there is with delivering emails to Google inboxes? What I would say to this one is every 6 months, there's like a cold email exodus event, right? So last time it was Microsoft where it was really hard to deliver to them. So what we did was we missed out Microsoft inboxes for a bit. Then we found out how to inbox with them. But then we just said, if it's Microsoft, then thread that multi-channel for LinkedIn. And we got them there. That was the best way to do it. From what I've seen, I don't believe there is a Google issue. I can check on that, but I've not seen that. It's always just been Microsoft has been a bit harder. But if at one point when it was Microsoft, we just threaded it through LinkedIn and it worked super well. And then we got the inboxes we were using in my agency, they were not for instantly. And then when we actually changed it instantly, okay, funnily enough, it just worked a lot better, to be honest, because there were just more proper ones than the ones I was using, which weren't as good. Someone mentioned I select result that trigger with reply, my one sequence, I forget it. Can't fully answer this right now. What I would say is drop a message into support, connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you don't get, if you want an even better answer, just connect with me and I'll push that up there for you as well, just from me. Any hacks about cold mailing? The biggest hack is serve, don't sell. everybody is trying to sell. If you just start selling in cold email, trust me, changes the game. Because think about it, everybody's trying to book meetings in cold email, right? Everybody's trying to do the one thing, and people don't really want to book to go straight into a meeting. You wouldn't try and marry someone on the first date, right? Or you wouldn't propose to someone in the club. You would want to get their number and maybe meet for a coffee the next week or whatever, right? So when you think about it with this stuff, if we were just to deliver a great offer, bake that into a meeting. So it's like for you to get the full value, you need to come and call. You will find that you'll get less no-shows. You'll get more people come in, more people that are warmer to you because they're not feeling sold to, they're feeling served to the point where it's like, why are you doing this? And then you can explain, well, we believe in doing relationships at scale. That's how our business works. And they love that, right? And if you send that at scale, people can't hate you. You're not just spamming people's inboxes. You're scaling generosity. You're scaling relationships. Works super well. Will forever be the best way to do it outbound, in my eyes. Yep, Aaron, I said drop your like campaign copy just to give me like an idea of what we're working with, so I can like give you a response on that one. If again, Yaroslav, if you can drop some context around the campaign, that would be great. I can just actually read over it on call. Yeah, or just like a somewhat a breakdown, just so I can actually see. Like I can't see the campaign, so I just need to know the context, so I can give you some feedback. Can you automate to delete a lead list once the campaign is completed for the next lead list, and then generate, upload, and begin the campaign on the next lead list? Probably. If you look at the API docs, we've done a lot with the V2. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So if you use tools like NAN, make.com, maybe Zapier, I know that's more like it's not as codey, but NAN, definitely there will be ways, workflows around this. You can maybe look at Instantly's automations as well. Yeah, I think there's all sorts of things you can do with that stuff. You've got the MCP you've got where you can plug that in, where you can have like all these different things going into your. I mean, it's just so powerful. I'll definitely look at API, the MCP, all these things, really, or even just plug it into ChatGPT and ask a question, and it'll give you all these different workflows. I can't tell you right now because I'm not the most technical person, but definitely a ton of opportunities there. Okay, we're sending to multi-location specialty medical providers, wellness clinics, med spas, etc. 4 email sequences and have 3 variants of the first email. What I would say is cut that down to 2. Here's why. So I never usually send more than 2 emails. One is the third one, deliverability tanks after the second email. So I don't know. I feel like it gives people more opportunities to mark you as spam if they don't want to hear from you and you follow up again. That's one. So as an economic down for mailboxes. The second one is economically, it works much better to do 2 and then move on to the next person. So it's like if you imagine like let's say you're at a networking event and you're trying to speak to a ton of people to get a sale. You're trying to sell iPhones, let's say. If you spend 20 minutes talking to each person and really trying to sell them on it, then versus just talking to everybody in the room and finding those who'll buy quicker, then you're going to get more sales quicker rather than spending 20 minutes wasting your time with the wrong person. That's my first part. Again, like I don't have full context about the copy that we're using, but what I would say is like try and find an offer, something you can send. It might even be like an actual thing you ship out. Think about like if I was to serve this person as if they were a client, what would I do? What's the highest valuable thing I could ever send to them? Removing the actual economics of it, and then how can I make that super low in resource, low in time, all these things while retaining the value and send them that. I think that's the best way to think about it. Short, sharp, short emails. Use variants in the AI to customize it. So rather than saying like this is for med spas, like you could be even more specific. This is for, let's say, I don't know, female only med spas in Baltimore. I don't know, right? I don't know the niches of med spas, but you can think about that. How can you make this lead magnet so specific to them that it sounds ridiculous? And it makes almost that psychology. It's all about making your email almost unreasonable for them not to respond. So I think that's my 2 cents over there. So here's the thing with subject lines. Go drink water. The best subject line is one which you would send to your friend, your colleague, any internal stakeholder without lying. So if I said like 10x your code outbound this month, people, even if my offer is amazing, people immediately know, oh, this is the cold email. I'm not going to respond to that. Versus Q4 outbound, Q1 2026 outbound. Something like that. That would economically perform a lot better than the other. Just because people just say, oh, okay. And then you think about that body copy as well. So when you get like that email that comes in here, think about like the copy used there, and just make it so people can open it. So it's all about psychology. That's the best way to think about it. I'm going to shoot off. Okay. Sending for my client. Client is a third-party free logistics agency. They are targeting food and beverage companies that need logistics. I have 8 campaigns created so far. This is just one of them. So I can't see the whole thing. Yeah, I would say, Yaroslav, if you can find me on LinkedIn, definitely like drop me a connect, and I can maybe get back to you on that as well. But again, what I would say, and if you go for my content as well, it's all about the offer. So if you can find like some sort of offer you can send them, even if it was like a ridiculous discount, if it was like, if you think of like the Whoop bands you get, like the fitness brands, they just like give you a trial and they send you the band for free. Like they make a loss there, but they know economically to get it back. So think about that offer, even for in-person products, like actual physical products or like services that take a lot, there's still stuff that you can do. Yeah, so I would think about how could you serve this person? How can you give them a ton of value without objectively trying to just pitch slap them and cold email? Yeah, Aaron, what I would say is like drop me a message on LinkedIn with a bit more context. Yeah, so I can respond. I just don't know the context to the full thing, but what I would say the advice that I gave you, that's possibly the best advice you can have. It's just all about the offer. Always think about the offer. What is the best offer I could ever give them? Scale the life of that in cold email. You'll get results. Or if you don't, like that'll be their biggest shot at doing it. I've sent millions of cold emails. I've tried millions of things, and there's single-handedly been the best thing over personalization, over triggers, over anything. In the copy of my email, in which I give a free lead list, should I talk about my offer or just offer them a free lead list and follow up? So what I would say is like, how could you turn that lead list into a meeting? So, right. What if it was like, I found like a list of 1K of this? Would it be useful if I sent you that and showed you how to do that, like at scale or something like that, right? So just think about what offer could I send that people can get, but then for them to get the full value of the offer, they need to meet, or if meeting's the next point. So what I would say is like, don't lead with your kind of grand slam offer initially. Just make it like a subset of your offer, just like a lead magnet. And then, or just say like if it was a lead list, like let's say there's like this form that they filled out or something where they could they had to fill out a form to get the leads or whatever, and then you just ordered it, and then it came up with a video or something like that. There's all different ways you can approach that, but I'd say like, how can you give them that and then like lead them through a funnel that makes them take that next conversion event? That's the best way to look at it. The offer needs to be really good in the front bit, just like I said about the free meetings, because I know that this works so well. So it's like, okay, you want more of that? Well, here's what we do. And we've got a really good money model. It was like pay per meeting or whatever, and to make it easy for them to actually come through with it. ChatGPT suggests quick question in the subject line. What do you think? Yeah, sure. I think definitely try different things. Don't get too bogged down on the subject line. It's actually not that important. I would say like try a quick question, try a bunch of different things. Again, it just makes it boring. Just think about how would I engage someone else. Best way to think about it. Looks like there are a lot more features integrated now that we were having built at the beginning of the year. Yeah, there's always going to be lots of developments going on instantly. Definitely stay tuned. There's going to be more and more in 2026, I'm sure. I don't know the full roadmap right now, but I can only imagine we're going to be building more and more. We constantly, even me as well, I'm in a ton of calls and product, looking at our user base, thinking how could we make this better and better and better, for sure. So just stay tuned. Sounds perfect, man. Just shoot me a message on LinkedIn and I'll see what I can do. Gonna answer these last two, and that'll be me. I have campaigns set up, and 2-3 weeks now they were getting opens, whereas prior to that they were not getting open but no replies. No, nothing. Firstly, don't track opens. There's many reasons why you shouldn't. It's really bad for deliverability. So avoid that. I would say have a look into your mailbox health, run inbox placement to try and diagnose that problem. You can also contact support as well, and you can also use Copilot. Like these exact questions, Copilot can just tell you exactly what's going on. So yeah, that's what I would say. Sounds like if there's a drop in replies, sounds like you've got a deliverability problem. So I would check in with that. I've been working with Inslee's VIP team for months, no traction. Only one positive after many thousand emails. Recruiting agency trying to generate candidates for big law firms. Ideas. Zach, I'll be in Slack, so just give me a message. What I would say is like the VIP team obviously is run by me. So we have our philosophy, and it's all around offer creation. So I'll have a check in with that with the team for you on that one. What I would say is like, sounds like sometimes based on the industry, based on things, if sometimes we just need to send more, sometimes more volumes to answer, but sometimes just changing of the offer, tweaking things. That's the best one. The best way like we approach it is like, ideally we keep the ICP fairly loose, not too like that. You keep it fairly loose and just test more and more offers. And if they don't work, then repeat the cycle. But we'll have a look in that for you to see if we can improve that result for you. What is the max of words we should aim for in our campaigns? Shorter the better. If it could be one letter, best. It does better with the. It does really good with the deliverability. Keep your, as in like I said, something like in my agency in the past, it was like, hey, if we could or like, could we book 5 meetings for free, like 5 SaaS meet or 5 ICP meetings for free? Would that be useful or something like that, right? It was like one sentence, and yeah, they're like, oh yeah, of course, tell me about it, and it works so well. Think about the people that read this. Like when you read emails, if it's a big blurb, you're not going to read that. It takes so long. The shorter, the sharper, the better. Make it easy for people to say yes to, and then you can start to converse with them. Happy to hear. It's going to have more and more developments. It's definitely a great tool. And also, Zach, I'll find you in Slack as well and drop you a message. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for the session. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try and grow this. I think it's really useful. Please drop me a message on LinkedIn if you thought it was useful. Feel free to share this stuff as well on LinkedIn if you think anyone else could be getting benefit from it. Kind of all I'm really trying to do is offer more one-to-one help at scale so I can get everybody sending better and better cold emails. And again, I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, have a fantastic day. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.